I welcome you all in this session, and topic of this session is types of development projects. And you are aware that projects are basically the investment activities in which we spend some money, and the objective is get to create some productive assets which can give returns for a longer period of time. And a number of projects we are implementing by the government for the upliftment of our society, particularly the agriculture society, rural community. And basically sometimes the projects are not only by the government, projects are from the different organizations, sometimes from the university also, from the private organizations also. But here we are talking about the different government projects. We are meant to uplift our society, particularly agriculture and farm community, the rural development, vulnerable section of the society. So these are the target groups, and for them a number of projects are being developed. So there are different category of the projects. So we are going to discuss about all these projects which are meant for the development of our society, particularly the vulnerable section of society, agriculture community. Projects are basically classified into a number of groups based on the objectives set for the project. So based on the objective of the project, we can classify the project into different groups. Like we have the projects on technological innovations, then we have the projects on the broadening of our resource base, then we want to have improvement in the status of the disadvantaged groups, vulnerable sections, and the poor community. Then we want to have the objective of the like improvement in post-harvest handling and distributions, and then also we have the project on institution building. So we are going to understand all these different types of projects in this session. So first let us start with the project on technological innovations, and these are the projects basically which are meant for the modernization of the agriculture, and through the modernization of agriculture sectors we want to bring the more productivity in the agriculture sector. We want to increase the productivity of the agriculture sector. Actually, through this technological innovation project, we want to increase the physical output of the agriculture sector per unit of the inputs. That is, we can say the increased yield per hectares, or sometimes we can say investment, increase output per rupees of invested money, and then we can say the sometimes the productivity or production per unit of labor. So we want to increase the efficiency of our system, the production activity through the technological innovation project. And basically such projects, these technological innovation projects originate from the existence of the technological package. So there are different research organizations which are working for the agriculture sector for different sectors, and we have large institutional base for the agriculture research, agriculture extension activities. And all this technology which are developed by the research organization, they are adequately tested in the field. Their suitability for their widespread dissemination have been identified in the large part of the countries. Then only the technology comes for the farmers field, for the adoption and at the farmers field. So and basically after the technological development or availability of the technology, there should be a need of efficient extension machinery, which basically bring this new technological innovation to the farmers field. So there is a need of the efficient extension machinery, and actually this machinery, the extension system or the technology transfer system, it raised the skill of the farmers for early adoption or implementation of the new technology. So they bring they take the research or technology developed by the research organization to the farmers field, and the projects of big or small size, or all these projects basically they need some amount of capital investment. But actually when we implement this project at the farmers field or at the grassroots level, there is a demand, there is a more considerable amount of working capital requirement is there at the farmers field. So working capital we need to have when we adopt this technological innovation. There are a number of barriers in adopting or implementing the technological projects, like easily adopted by the large farmers. This technological innovations are easily adopted by the large farmers, but when the small farmers or tenant farmers, they are not able to adopt this technological innovations because they don't have money to spend on the new technologies. And then for this purpose, actually, we need to increase the accessibility to the credit and management skill of the farmers, particularly the small and marginal farmers, or we can say medium farmers, or this accessibility to the credit and management skills at the farmers level. This can help actually in the technological project in adoption. And there are a number of the technological innovation, particularly in case of agriculture sector. We can see like superior variety of the seeds and planting materials, like high yielding varieties, improved varieties of the seeds. This is the one of the technology which has contributed a lot in the agricultural production enhancement in the country. Then in case of livestock, there are new and superior breed of the livestock, the animals. Then in case of fish, we can say new fishing equipments or techniques is there, farm mechanization is there, then micro irrigation is one of the technology for application of solar energy for water pumping. So there are a number of the technology advancement in the agriculture sector. So these are very popular, and this technological innovation basically help the to increase the productivity of the agriculture system. Then second type of project we have is the project on the broadening physical resource base. Basically the objective of this such project on this broadening of physical resource base is basically to bring the additional physical resources into the production system, like water, making available the water for the irrigation purpose, or developing the irrigation infrastructure, improvement in the land. So there are many. So the objective of this such type of project is to improve the physical resource base for the agriculture purpose. There are different examples on this project, like irrigation projects. So both surface and groundwater schemes are there. Development of a canal irrigation systems, making available the tube wells, or providing some subsidies on the open well. So these are the irrigation projects. Then we can have the project on drainage systems, like then we have the project on watershed development that also have the objective of improving the soil erosion. Basically we want to have the control of the soil erosion. Then afforestation project is there. There may be the project on flood control. There may be a project on salinity control, settlement project for the community vulnerable section on the new land. So these are the different physical resource based projects which are implemented by the government or authorities time to time. And like large irrigation project is the most commonly favored by the most of the government, because it is easy to get aid from the donor countries for the international or from the international lending agencies. So irrigation project, large irrigation project is the most favored project for the broadening the resources at the rural levels. And so actually for them, such project, for this large irrigation project, the funding is available from the different donor organization, donor country also. Then conducting of the feasible study of irrigation project, or supervision of the construction of this irrigation project is also relatively simple, so it can be easily implementable. Then this project provide the high level of production stability in the area of erratic rainfall. So actually there is a drastic change in the productivity of agriculture sector when we have the irrigation system. So the output is very good from such large irrigation project. Then there are some weaknesses of the large irrigation project, like highly capital intensive. We need to have lot of investment for such projects, because a lot of people, lot of technology, and it is a long duration project. Basically we can say there is a always when we implement such large irrigation projects, there is always shortfall in the performance due to lack of multidisciplinary approach, because we need to have different types of skill in the for implementing such project. We need to have engineering department people, we need to have the different types of people. Sometimes we need to have economists, the management people, the human resource people. So there are different types of people who are required for implementing the irrigation projects. Then there is some adverse impact on the economic distribution from this project, because when we have this irrigation project, large irrigation projects, some of the people who got in the disadvantageous conditions, because they have to shift from other areas, and so their income is there is a fall in their income, there is a fall in their livelihood security. So, and for such projects, there is a long gestation period, sometimes 10 years, 15 years, 20 years it takes. And the organization of farm level service in farmers training is slow process, because we are not able to provide all farm level services when we have this irrigation projects. And next types of project, we have the improvement of the disadvantaged groups. Is this such project is basically for the improvement in the welfare of the special groups. We want to bring some changes in the economic and welfare status of special groups, like vulnerable section, the backward community, tribal communities, we can say, so farm communities, small or marginal farmers. So these are some special groups which are in the disadvantageous position in the country. So we want for improving their conditions, for improving their socio-economic condition, government implement such projects. And this they can be improved, their condition can be improved by intervening in the market process, like fair price shops. We are providing them the food grain at cheaper prices. So this is a kind of market intervention. Then change in the ownership structure of the factors of production, like in case of the land, we have implemented different land reforms activity, consolidation of the land holdings, then giving security of the land to the cultivator farmers. So, and actually sometimes we generalize the project benefit towards a designated target groups. We can keep some reservation or type of things. We can fix some woman quota, then 50% of the target will be woman, or some backward community we can fix that any particular portion of the this benefit of the disadvantage project, the improvement in the disadvantage project should go the particular section of. So we can channelize the benefit of the project to a particular target group. And there is a lot of need for such project, because we are observing that growth has not been accompanied by the development. We are seeing that there is a growth in the economy is there, but all peoples are not benefited from this growth. Some of the section of the society are at the disadvantageous positions. They are not, their income is not increasing as there's some industrial sector or manufacturing sector, their income is increasing. So some section of the peoples, they are at disadvantage stages. That's why we need to improve, we need to implement special schemes for them, like the employment programs we are implementing in the country. So we can see that there is a tremendous growth rates in the economy, but relatively little or no impact on the regional income disparities. Some part of the country is performing very good, but some part of the country is lagging behind. So there is a thinking that this free market economy would not contribute to a widening of the income gap, because there is this income gap is increasing between the peoples in the different sections. So this free market economy would not help to remove this gap, income gap. Example of different projects for improvement of disadvantaged groups are like agriculture credit project, the land settlement project, land reform project, nutrition and integrated rural development project, implement programs, and then housing for all. So these are the different projects which are implemented for the purpose of the improving the condition of the disadvantaged group. And let us little bit also understand about this agriculture credit project. Basically, the purpose of this agriculture credit proposal is to increase their production capacity. So actually they can grow more by using the high yielding varieties, technological, by adopting the technology. And sometimes this agriculture project is considered as an income transfer mechanism, because by using the financial resources, they can use the technology. There will be increase in the productivity of the person of the farm, and that's why they will be able to generate income. So that's why we can see sometimes they are the income transfer mechanism. And sometimes diversion, because the loan is given for the production purpose, for purchasing the seeds, fertilizer, but sometimes people use that project the credit or loan for the consumption purpose for purchasing of some vehicle or there is some diversion sometimes, but Kisan credit card, this is one of the credit transfer or credit providing project in the country, and in some interest subsidy is also there when they have the credit card, up to 3% subsidy is there when there is a certain limit of the money they are taking as a loan from through the using this credit card. The microfinance scheme is also there. The cooperative sector is also performing very good to provide the agriculture credit to the farmers and farming community. Then another type of project or we are using for improving the this advantage groups is the land settlement projects. Basically, in this project, basically we settle the previously economically disadvantaged farmers or landless farmers on a new plot of land. So actually, the government provides some new land to the peoples who are in the disadvantaged farmers who are basically they don't have the sometimes land, so for allotting them the land, new land. So this is the basically land settlement project, and social justice is the main objective along with the production objective. So we are providing land to a farmers and to a landless farmers. They will be have some production. So production objective is also there, and if we through this project, if we are able to improve their socio-economic conditions, so social justice project also the objective is also there. But the major concerns for implementing this land settlement project is very heavy cost. This a lot of investment need to be made for such project, and therefore the low prospectus for replacing such project, some development project. And sometimes when we develop the new site for the settlement of people, there are very few or poor quality of basic resources we are able to develop there. So meager or poor quality of basics services at a new development. This is another problem with this project. Then due to the high cost, only few family can be benefited because we cannot allot Jameen or this land to all the people. So that's why sometimes this is the problem. Then full development of a new site takes time. It takes time, maybe sometime 5 years or 10 years. So it is a time taking process. So it takes some time in the development of new settlement sites. Then rural development projects are another projects, and a major thrust of this project is basically the fight against the poverty, and the purpose is to remove or alleviate the poverty in the country. And basically different lending institutions such as World Bank, they always focus on the rural development project, and main features of such projects, this rural development project is there is a conscious effort to give a distributive bias to a broad-based groups beneficiary as per the target groups. So these are the very targeted tools for the backward community, a tribal community we can say. So and in this project basically we adopt the multi-sectoral approach in the project concept and formulation. So there may be different types of support. Suppose it is related to production activities, so there will be marketing activities will also be there. There will be credit providing agency will also be there. So this is both backward and forward linkage is provided when such projects are implemented. And direct number of beneficiaries may be modest. When we select the number of beneficiaries for rural development projects, they may be the modest number, but the beneficiaries or influence zone of this projects are very large. So it affects large part of the sections. So it helps them. Actually, one of the objective of the rural development project is to promote the country development. Actually, it increase the demand of the product in the market when we are able to provide the income of to the low section, so they will have demand, so the production activity increase, so and the income generation activity will increase in the country. So actually in the rural development project, not only the agriculture sector, but it is inter-sectoral linkage should be given due consideration for the poverty elevation. So there are different types of activities we have to do, like we have to give the directly productive activity to generate saving for the further investment, reinvestment to sustain the growth, then production support activities to remove the infrastructure constraints, and then social support elements like health, education, drinking water, community centers, all these. So we need to have different types of activity. We have to give the production activity, we need to give production support for, and then we also have the social elements, social support elements in the. So all these activities, there should be holistic activity in the rural development project, and the budget provision for not only the development but also for maintenance of services should be done. So when we implement the rural development projects, not only for the development but also for maintenance, for sustenance of these projects, there should be provision in the budget. Then the another type of project, we have the project on the post harvest handling and distributions, and the marketing and storage project is to be provided for more orderly marketing of the products and reduce seasonal price fluctuation. This is one of the objectives while we implement this post harvest handling and distribution. Basically it is to support the marketing activity, the storage activity in the rural area, in the farm sectors, so that they have a lot of variation is there in the price fluctuation is there due to seasonal nature of the agriculture production. In the season, in the harvest season, we see there is a decline in the prices, and in the off season there is a rise in the prices. So by providing the marketing facility, or particularly the storage facility, cold chain, we can remove these, or we can reduce these price fluctuation. Then government actually directly intervene in the marketing operation for the export earnings. So sometimes they provide the support, they provide some managerial training, they provide some marketing infrastructure, sometimes they provide some export subsidy. So government directly intervene to support the post harvesting and distribution for the export purpose. And actually for implementing such project, heavy working capital requirement is there. And then pricing policy, actually sometimes we see the pricing policy aimed at keeping prices within the range for the population. So sometimes we do not allow to increase the prices, it should be reasonable for the population, large section of the population. Then intervention to protect the interest of the producer by minimizing the role of the intermediary, this is the another purpose of such project. Then in this project actually we provide the marketing infrastructure, road transportation, cold storage, warehousing, such marketing infrastructure we provide. And this such project require commercially oriented management. So the managements should be always have they should bring the efficiency, they also should bring the profit, they should have the income generation in mind while doing while implementing such project. Then another type of project, we have the project on institution building. These are the projects or designed to strengthen the local institutions for successful implementation of development projects and programs. And particularly we have the three types approach to overcome the institutional bottlenecks. Actually sometimes we find when we want to implement some projects, there should be no proper institutions are there at the grassroots level, at the managerial level, at the designing level. So there should be proper institutions are there who can implement, who can plan the projects. And so there are three-tier approach when we want to overcome this institutions bottleneck. First at the country planning level, that is the highest level, and here we need to develop the capacity for the project generation, how we can develop the good project. So to study the different project aspects, socio-economic aspect, the managerial aspect, the commercial aspect, so long term effect will be, what will be the impact of projects. To analyze all such aspects, we need to develop the capacity for the project generation. Then we need to have a strong mechanism for coordination among the various departments. Sometimes there are multiple departments involved, like if you want to implement a project for the rural sector, so there is a Ministry of Agriculture, the Ministry of the Rural Development, Ministry of Finance, so sometimes Ministry of Food Processing Industry. So there are different ministry or departments are, so there should be a proper coordination. So we need to build such institutions, and there should be a provision of supporting services to the management of approved project which are that is ready for the implementation. Then second level, basically project management level. So this is another big issues. We don't have the local managerial skills when we develop the or when we implement the projects. So there is a need to have some institution who can implement at the middle level or second levels. So there are problems, lot of problems. Major problem is the shortage of the local managerial skills, and sometimes what we do in that condition, we seek the assistance from the experienced technical professionals and provide on job training to the local management. So we request the donor agency to provide some technical personnel, and they will work with the ongoing project, and local people, the local management staff will be trained while working with this external technical personnel. So this is the one of the ways we can develop the institutions, technology or the skills for the implementation of the project at the management level, project management level. And sometimes the selected country basically could undertake training program for potential project management. We send our staff, the management staff, for the training, and financing of such training could be done by aid donors. So the donor agency, they can give some fund for training of the project management level staff, or by regional development institutions, they can give training to the project management staff. Then sometimes by the country where the project is being implemented, they provide training to the persons who are involved in the project management level. Then third level of intervention is basically it is concentrated on the farmers, the grassroots level. There are two aspects of this. We should have the farmer level organization, where again shortage of managerial skills is always there. It is very acute problem. We don't have the farm level organization, or we don't have the persons who can work for implementing the project at the grassroots level. And developing the farmers' skills, it is very important, so that they can enable the full utilization of the new technology or some new programs they can do. So we need to develop the skills of the farmers to implement the project at the grassroots level. And now we can sum up this session that we have different types of projects, like technological innovation project, and then we have the projects on the broadening of physical resource base. Then we have the project on improve the status of disadvantaged groups, particularly vulnerable section of the people in the country. And then we have the project for post-harvest handling and distribution. So basically these are the projects after the harvest at the farm level, and then the marketing, the processing, the storage, so warehousing, all these are activities. Different projects are done under the category of the post-harvest handling and distribution project. Then we have the project for institution building. So this institution building project basically to develop the skills or infrastructure for implementing of the project in the grassroots level. And the understanding of each of this broad group of project is very helpful in developing or implementing project for the development of the particular region. Thank you very much.